Welcome, everyone. You know, if you've ever sat in a pitch-black theater, totally captivated by a story unfolding on the big screen, and thought to yourself, man, I want to be the one who makes that, well, then you're in exactly the right place. Welcome to this Career Explainer. Today, we're taking the literal magic of the movies and breaking it all down into a practical, step-by-step roadmap. We are charting the exact chronological path from simply dreaming about making movies to actually sitting in the director's chair and calling the shots.
So, here is our call sheet for today's Explainer. First, we'll look inside the director's chair. Second, we're plotting your educational pathway. Third, top institutes in India. Fourth, financing your film education. And finally, number 5, career growth and income.
Okay, let's dive into this with Section 1, Inside the Director's Chair. Right, so before we even start looking at film schools and salaries and all that, we really need to understand the ultimate goal of our hero's journey today. What does this role actually entail? Well, a film director is the person entirely in charge of making the film, the whole shebang. They aren't just out there instructing actors, they hold full control and have the absolute final say in literally all matters concerning the film. It's a position of immense creative vision, for sure, but it also carries immense authority and a massive amount of responsibility on set.
As you can see, being that central creative force standing beside the camera, overseeing every little detail, means everyone looks to you for answers. To sit in that chair, to be the person who holds the entire massive puzzle of a production together, you need a very specific set of internal qualities. It's really not just about technical knowledge. It's about who you are as a person.
And that brings us to these essential personality traits. You absolutely must have a creative bent of mind and truly enjoy creative writing, because at the end of the day, you are fundamentally a storyteller. But notice how heavily teamwork is emphasized here. You have to be totally comfortable working in groups and operating as part of a team. A movie isn't made by one person alone. It takes a literal army, and the director has to lead them all without, completely losing their mind. So, I've got to ask you directly, do you have these traits? Take a quick second to self-assess before we keep moving forward.
Moving right along, Section 2, Plotting Your Educational Pathway.
Let's move to and see how this builds. Assuming you've got that creative drive and collaborative spirit, we're looking at the concrete academic steps you need to break into this highly competitive industry. Now, your educational timeline is actually incredibly open at the start. Step 1 is simply completing your 10+2. And the great news here, you can come from absolutely any stream. Doesn't matter. From there, you move on to a bachelor's degree. And again, this can be in any discipline, though leaning into fine arts, like a BFA, gives you a fantastic foundation. After that, you have a few ways to specialize. You can pursue a diploma in filmmaking right after your degree, or you can follow up your bachelor's with a master's degree, an MFA, or a PG diploma specifically in filmmaking.
All right, Section 3, Top Institutes in India.
So you know the academic steps you need to take, but where do you actually go to take them? Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer variety of options across 3 main avenues in India. You've got prestigious government institutes like the Film and Television Institute of India down in Pune and the Satyajit Ray Film and Television Institute in Kolkata, just to name a couple heavy hitters. Then you have highly regarded private institutes, including Whistling Woods International in Mumbai and the Asian Academy of Film and Television in New Delhi. And hey, for those who need a bit more flexibility, there's even a distance learning option offered through IGNOU. Basically, the infrastructure's out there just waiting for you.
Which brings us to Section 4, Financing Your Film Education.
Okay, let's be real for a second and acknowledge the practical hurdle in this journey. Making films costs money. And going to film school? Well, that certainly isn't free either. The approximate course fee ranges anywhere from a highly accessible 4,500 rupees all the way up to a staggering 23 lakh rupees. I really want to boldly emphasize this massive variance because it shows that there are real entry points to this education regardless of your financial background. It varies wildly from institute to institute, but the door is absolutely not closed to you just because of money. But if you do find yourself eyeing a program at the higher end of that spectrum, or if you simply need some help covering the basics, this is the absolutely crucial question you're probably asking yourself right now. How do you actually fund your film education?
Well, here are your actionable solutions. First off, definitely check out the National Scholarship Portal at scholarships.gov.in for central government schemes. The institutes themselves also offer merit-based scholarships, so keep an eye out for those. If you need to look into loans, the Vidyalakshmi portal is a total game changer. It's a centralized hub developed under the Ministry of Finance and the Ministry of Education for students seeking education loans. Plus, states like West Bengal, Odisha, and Bihar offer student credit cards with super low interest rates. And of course, all major banks provide general education loans. The resources are out there, you just have to know where to look.
So, the crucial point is coming up next in Section 5, Career Growth and Income.
Once you have the traits, you've knocked out the education, and you've navigated the funding, what happens next? Well, you don't just magically walk onto a movie set and become the director on day one, right? The literal ascent usually starts as an assistant director. You're putting in the long, exhausting hours, learning the ropes on set, and slowly working your way up to director. Interestingly enough, our sources point out another common path. Some folks start as a producer, then move to assistant director, and then finally land that theatrical director role.
And while you're climbing that ladder, your day-to-day work environment is incredibly dynamic and demanding. You might find employment in large media conglomerates, production houses, or studios. You're going to be working outdoors sometimes, indoors others, depending entirely on the project, and almost always in shifts. It's a grind. But once you become truly successful in this field, entrepreneurship becomes a massive opportunity. You can literally start your very own production house.
Now, what about the financial reward for all this hard work? The expected income for a director ranges roughly between 45,000 rupees to over 3 lakh rupees per month. To put that into perspective, that is a really substantial range, and it clearly shows how financial rewards scale significantly as you establish your name, prove your creative vision, and climb through those industry ranks.
And this brilliantly illustrates our point. Take Zoya Akhtar, one of the most recognizable directors in the country today. She followed this exact roadmap. She earned her bachelor's degree in arts from St. Xavier's College in Mumbai. Then she pursued higher education and film production at New York University's Tisch School. She climbed the ladder, helmed massively acclaimed films like Luck by Chance, Dil Dhadakne Do, and Gully Boy. And, reaching that ultimate entrepreneurial goal we just mentioned, she now co-owns a production company called Tiger Baby. It completely proves this exact educational and career journey is entirely possible.
So we've looked at the internal traits you need, the schools you can attend, how you can pay for it all, and the gritty path you'll walk once you graduate. You've seen the blueprint. Now the final thought I want to leave you with as we wrap up this explainer is a simple one. Are you ready to take that very first step and call action on your own directorial career? The roadmap is right here, waiting for you.